Hey, it's the fine Friday of Shudder, September 2025. I'm hosting Austin, and we're nearly at the end point for this month, which has been stressful on so many reasons I can't possibly go into all of them on this channel, but it has been a month of madness and madness and madness, but it's almost over, thank Christ. I've almost finished, and this is the end of the VHS week. This week I've been covering VHS movies, and this is one of the VHS movies. Yes, I know there's enough spin-off, Siren, which I haven't covered. If it's on Shudder, I have no idea. Let me know if it is. I'll watch it at some point. But it's, this is a section which is a spin-off from my favourite section of VHS2, the Dubstep Aliens. How's it fare? Well, I've actually seen this before, so I actually know how it fares, and it's a pretty good movie. That's basically my main review of it. It's a good movie. Is it a great movie? No, it's not. The fundamental flaw of this movie, and I say fundamental flaw, I don't really mean flaw because I don't think it is a flaw, but it's obviously they have to extend it feature lengths. That means that, for example, the sister needs more depth because in the original one she was horrible. The kids need more depth because in the original they're horrible. The boyfriend doesn't really get any more depth, but he's somehow even more horrible. And it does lose that nasty low 5 sense of the original, despite the fact that this does seem to have quite a low budget. But in saying that, this is not a sanitised version of that movie. This is still, it's less nudity and things like that. In terms of sex scene and stuff like that, but it's actually more hard R than you'd expect. I suppose someone would say it's more PG-13, but I think it's R because there's still some strong language in there. There's still some pretty violent violence. I think most because it's made by the same team that make VHS, Cinepocalypse. Now, is this good? No, it's not. And there are things I don't particularly care for in the movie. It's a bit less stylish than the short version was. It's a bit less manic. It's a bit less crazy. It's obviously not found footage. I get why they didn't do like they wanted to differentiate from VHS, and it would have been hard to keep stuff for a whole movie. But overall, I liked it, and I liked it for some reason that it's fun. Kids dress up like the fucking Legion of Doom/Road Warriors, and they beat up an alien. That's pretty cool. Now, we're saying that the aliens aren't as good as it is in VHS. But, it's hard to really be too critical. So obviously, they had to do something to get this feature length. And indeed, this movie is only 75 minutes long. So I think I viewed this before and said the shortness of it is both a plus and a negative. In fact, that they don't have to go too over the top on, where's me character stuff. They do just enough to hit runtime. It's clear that this was made for the Shudder streaming service rather than as a theatrical movie, because it doesn't feel very theatrical. But, in saying that, I like that the VHS gets spin-offs. I like that the Shudder makes stuff like this, and I think this is fun. Is it a great movie? No, it's not in the slightest. But it's fun, and it's decent, and it's watchable, and I enjoyed it. And now I have to figure out how to get 5 minutes of this. I think what I really hope is that they keep making more stuff like this. I prefer they get, more sense of a proper movie, because this does feel like you could have done this in an hour, in terms of an hour's running time. It doesn't feel fully fleshed out, and that's good and bad, as I said earlier. But in saying that, I do think, maybe it would work better if they did 2 VHS things back to back, this and another one, and did them about 50 minutes each. Because when I was watching Host, for example, I don't think they could have got past 59 minutes, but it felt like that's the right time for it to end. And this feels like maybe it drags on a little bit too much. I think if you're going to, I know from making my own movies that sort of the sweet spot is about 80 minutes. You can, or 7, I re-edited mine to be 76 minutes, but I don't know. I am positive about this. Like I said, the VHS short is one of my favourite shorts ever, and that's 5 stars, and this is 3. I don't know how you have managed to keep that pacing for this, but what I would say is that having rewatched these VHS movies, I really, really like them. I like the universe, I like the dynamics, I like the fact that you make something like this, which is a bit shorter and a bit weirder, but no less good. And I would like to see more. They're all pretty decent actors. They do a good job. It's got a nice aesthetic and does no sets welcome, and most movies don't do that. Like I saw The Conjuring Last Ride yesterday, and I left after about 30 minutes because it was not very good. And that movie really is a sign of a movie which pads the shit out of it. You know, at least this one has some pace to it and some life and ends at the right point, which again is very important. So this is my final Friday of Shudder September 2025. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back next week with the last two movies, which are two of my favourites.